Main event, it comes up a little later, but we're going to start with one of our 11 for 2011 to follow. A young lad who could really be a force in the cruiserweight.
The undefeated Matty Askin.
Right hand from Askin. That was better. Beautiful shot. Got the uppercut. It was class. Terrific left hook, he's down. Fast, accurate. One single crisp shot. Askin could be something special.
If I can get the British title shot after this fight, like you said, spice it up a bit. You know, if it goes to 10 rounds, it goes to 10 rounds. But I can tell you this: if I land first, it's game over. Simple as that.
So can Blackpool's Matty Askin prove he's ready for the best in Britain? He's only 22, the former 2008 ABA champion, has already made steady progress in his 3 years as a professional. He's won all 11 contests so far, 8 of them by way of stoppage. He's in here with the vastly more experienced Czech, Roman Kracik. This is Kracik's 42nd fight, but his first here in Britain. It is scheduled for 10 rounds, but tonight's action, of course, falls on Remembrance Weekend, and with that in mind, we're now going to hand over to our MC tonight, Paul Booth.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please now be upstanding for a minute's silence to honour the sacrifices made by our brave servicemen and women.
A well-observed tribute to our fallen heroes. Sit back now, enjoy our high-definition coverage. Your commentary team for tonight's live action is Nick Halling and Jim Watt, but first back to your MC tonight, Paul Booth.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening and welcome to Old Leisure Centre. It is now yours to extend a very warm welcome to all viewers joining us live and exclusive across the UK and beyond on Sky Sports HD for Fight Night Live. Hassan Promotions present now an international cruiserweight contest featuring 10 3-minute rounds of boxing. This bout sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your official in charge is Mr. Richard Jones. timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Gary Brennan, and our scoring referee in charge of the action is the third man in the ring, Mr. Steve Gray from Fleetwood. Those are the officials. Here are our boxers. Firstly, fighting this evening out of the blue corner. On the scales, his official weight is 14 stone 4 pounds. Wearing the black shorts this evening and bring into the ring a professional fight record which includes 33 victories, 19 of which have finished inside the scheduled distance, 7 defeats with 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, from Little Maurice in the Czech Republic, introducing Roman Kracik. And across the ring, in the red corner, is a man who brings to the ring this evening a 100% professional fight record. 11 fights, 11 victories, 7 of which have finished inside the scheduled distance. This evening, he wears the red and gold shorts, and on the scales, his official weight is 14 stone, 3 pounds, 8 ounces. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Blackpool, Lancashire, the undefeated assassin, that is Matty Askin! Our referee, Mr. Steve Gray, will now give both boxers his final instructions.
Okay, boys, if I call break, you must take 1 step back, okay? No punches around the back of the head. Touch gloves. Good luck, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, a cruiserweight contest featuring 10 3-minute rounds of boxing.
Let's see how young Matty Askin here gets on against another veteran, Roman Kracik of the Czech Republic. He is 40 years old now, Roman, turned pro 9 years ago at the relatively old age of 31, a survivor, a spoiler, won more than his fair share, picks up a string of minor belts around Central Europe, and has only been stopped twice. Once was when he went up to heavyweight and got sparked inside a round and decided to come straight back down to cruiser. And once again in August when he was stopped in 9 by Krzysztof Glowacki, who's an unbeaten prospect from Poland. So that suggests at the very least some durability there. He's crude, he's tough, and he should give Askin a bit of a workout.
Well, I think the cruiserweight division at the moment in Britain crying out for someone to set the division alight. We just had a poor British title fight a couple of weeks ago, and it's quite possible Matty Askin could be the one. A good aggressive style, throws lots of punches, decent power in his punches, and he's certainly improving. His 3rd year as a pro, I think he's come on leaps and bounds. So, fairly high expectations, a lovely right hand.
Yeah, the fight you're referring to there, Matty Askin watched that. Leon Williams finally ending the reign of Rob Norton, who seemed to have been around forever since Johnny Nelson was in his 20s. And anyway, Rob's gone, Leon Williams is the new man, and Matty Askin wasted no time describing that performance as pathetic and saying that he would stop Williams in 5 if given the opportunity. He may well get that opportunity next year, but first he's got to take care of this fella. Whacking in a solid left to the body there. Good snap with his punches from Askin, who's now being trained by Bob Shannon, has been for the last few months. Having originally been with Brian Hughes, who's now retired. Shannon says he's getting a lot more intense training out of him, a lot more physical. That's what you'd expect from the Bob Shannon school.
Actually does look a little bit fleshy, so hasn't shown an awful lot of ambition in the first couple of minutes of this one, so hopefully that will come. He's just kind of circling, keeping himself out of range, hardly an offensive move from him yet. I was hoping maybe we're going to see Askin tested a little bit tonight. Early signs, I'm not so sure, but early days.
Another veteran last time out, 39-year-old. Garay. Took him about 3 rounds to work him out. Stopped him in the 4th back in the summer. Nice little right hand getting through. Bob Shannon says the one thing you do know with Askin, he's got really good power. He hits hard. Very tall, 6'4", terrific wingspan, and a good reach advantage. And he's picked off his man at will here, and as Jim said already, Kracik doesn't look like he's enjoying his night too much.
At the end of this kid. So like you say,
try to take it to the body.
Yeah, take it to the body a bit, but be nice in time when you come
Positive
down, right?
start from Matty Askin.
Yeah, a good, sensible start from Askin, but we didn't see an awful lot of ambition from Kracik, so hopefully we'll see a little bit more good body shot there. And he looks a little bit fleshy around the midsection, so that might be a good place to go.
Round 2.
Bob Shannon, his trainer, telling him to work the body in the second round. Shannon talking to him a couple of nights ago, a little bit concerned, not overly concerned, a little bit concerned that Askin had 3 weeks' notice for this fight, and he'd had a cold in the middle of that one as well. So he said the preparations haven't been ideal, but I guess you've got to get on with the hand of cards you're dealt with. And Askin should be able to get rid of this fella, even if it wasn't perfect preparation.
Yeah, well, we can see already that he's not facing a pressure fighter tonight. Kracik quite happy to circle around, maybe just take the odd pot shot now and again. But he doesn't look in the best of condition. So I just wonder what kind of threat he poses. Haven't seen that yet.
Going back to his card, which is really all you can gauge this fella on, Jim. Like I say, just the 2 stoppages. That early one when he went up to heavyweight and got bombed out by a Cameroonian who's based in France, Carlos Takan. That would have been the round when he decided the heavyweight is not the one for me. And then just that one last time out against the Pole, Blavatsky, and he took 9 rounds. So if Askin can put him away early, it is a statement. Because if nothing else, Kracik does appear to be a durable campaigner.
Yeah, at least he's trying to come forward now. This is a little bit better. Maybe the last couple of right hands have woken him up a little bit. This is a bit more ambition. Good. This is what we hope for.
Very crude swinging right hand. Launched from the back of the hall. Askin saw it coming and neat bit of footwork got him out of harm's way. Real swinging, clubbing punches we're seeing from Kracik at the moment. Not much sharpness, not like that. That right hand. Oh, another one getting through from Askin. Pounding in that left jab. And again getting through the guard. Picking his shots. Well, these are good, hurtful scoring punches from Askin. And he took one back. Landed a left hand, and Kracik just gave him a little reminder.
Well, a man of Kracik's experience, you have to expect maybe he can spring the odd surprise. He certainly sprung one with that countering right hand. So we have to expect that he's learned something along the way in his 41 fights. Obviously, the 40, he doesn't have the ambition he maybe had at one time. But maybe the odd trick now and again just to keep Askin on his toes. Askin doing all the right things.
Just missing with the swinging cross-come uppercut, and Kracik getting through with a really crude combination, but they both scored. Yeah, just a little warning once in a while for Askin. Don't drop your guard on this fella. He might just spring a surprise or two, but Askin looking pretty much in control at the moment.
Slightly a foot away to the left, you need to be more to the right. So when you throw the jab, he's going to walk onto the backhand. But you've got to be a foot in front of him and round the side. Yeah,
again, some lovely punching from Askin. Difficult to prize this fellow open, but a couple of little reminders from Kracik that he could come back with something of his own. And what we're looking at, I'm thinking he doesn't look the best of shape, but probably that's how he's looked throughout his career.
Round 3 of what is scheduled for 10. Matty Askin from Blackpool. The big fella, the big youngster, 6'4", 22 years old, against Roman Kracik. He has age, he has height, he has reach advantages. Matty Askin, he has power in his punches. And he will be expected to do a job on Kracik, but Kracik is a tough nut. And interesting that the more the fight's going on, the more Kracik looks like he's happy to work off the front foot.
Yeah, well, this is better from Kracik. At least now he's showing some intent. He's trying to come forward, trying to get some punches off. So at least he's making Askin think a little bit. So this is when Askin has to step forward and meet him with the jab, stop him in his tracks.
That big right cross of Askin has really been a productive weapon for him. Around the side of the guard of Kracik. He's not making the adjustment for it. And then switching downstairs. Single shots, though, in this round from Askin.
Yeah, but the main thing is he's keeping this fellow at arm's length, so he's able to throw the punches as he likes. I imagine he'll start putting punches together more and throw them in combinations as it warms up. Just get a couple of rounds into the bank. We're not all that sure about Kracik yet. He may be a bit better than, you know, first impressions. So just solve him out, find out what's going to work, then start to do the job.
Seems to take a punch earlier in this round. About 30 seconds ago, there was a wonderful left hook that Askin threw. Caught him flush on the side of the jaw. He absorbed it very well. And a slapping left hook to the body, but that's a nice right uppercut though. Picking his shots well, and Kracik felt that one and didn't like it one little bit. And Steve Gray stepped straight in. That uppercut really did some damage from Roman Kracik. Well, how about that? Matty Askin has done what no other cruiserweight has ever done. Put this fella away early.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, sometimes punches land, but they're not knockout punches, but they're sickeners, and that seemed to be what happened there. It seemed like a short, jolting uppercut as Kracik came forward, and it just seemed to sicken him. He's complaining about Askin punching on the back of the head as he made his way back to the corner, but he turned away from the punches, so I think he invited that. It was his own fault, so he's complaining about that. But I think the short punch just before that seemed to sicken him, just knock all the fight out of him.
Yeah, he didn't want to know once that uppercut got through. And he'd been softened up beforehand. Single punches maybe, but they were really hurtful and accurate punches from Matty Askin. Real impressive stuff. And there was a left hook that came in earlier in that round that really rocked him.
Yeah, well, I think that the more confident Askin is becoming, you know, the more power in his punches. That was a beautiful left hook. And then he seemed to land. See that's a little sickening punch. That was the uppercut. You know, it wasn't a knockout punch, but it just seemed to knock all the fight out of Kracik. I mean, usually in long fights, if those punches land, you don't expect to sicken a man this early in a contest. But I mean, it was a beautiful shot. You can see he could take the punch okay, but a little delayed effect, felt the pain of it, and it just seemed to knock everything out of him. Then he's complaining about the punch in the back of the head, but the damage had already been done long before that. Good result, good performance from Matty Askin.
And are we looking at a future British Cruiserweight champion? Well, this evidence, you'd have to say there's every chance. That was impressive from young Matty Askin.
After 2 minutes, 11 seconds of round number 3, our referee, Mr. Steve Gray, has stopped the contest. Therefore, our winner, and still undefeated as a professional boxer, ladies and gentlemen, from Blackpool, Lancashire, Matty, the Assassin, Askins.
Yeah, impressive stuff that from Matty Askin. The only other cruiserweight that's ever stopped. Roman Kracik took 9 rounds to do it. Matty Askin in double quick time, and off 3 weeks preparation as well, and a cold in the middle of it. Who knows what he could have done if he'd had full preparation. Denton Vassell will know that his moment to defend his Commonwealth title is coming up any moment. That against Samuel Columban for the Commonwealth welterweight strap. We're looking forward to that one. Vassell saying he's ready to put on a show tonight. But one man who's already put on a show is Matty Askin. He's with Andy Scott.
Matty Askin, was that a statement to the rest of the British Cruiserweight division?
Yeah, you know, everyone will have been watching now. I've even had a few call-outs, so it's nice to get a good performance in like that, and you know, and show the rest of the cruiserweights what I'm about.
That uppercut, when it came, was that the best punch of your professional career?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I felt that straight through my elbows to my shoulders. It was a cracking shot, you know. and he did well to stay up from it. But you've seen the state of his nose, you know what I mean? And that's the sort of power I possess.
Leon Williams holds the British cruiserweight title. Do you feel that you're ready for him straight away, or would you rather take another fight and try and get some rounds because you've never been over 6?
No, you know, I'm fit enough. You know, Bob's probably one of the best trainers. Well, he is the best trainer around. You know, otherwise I won't be with him. And we can go 12, 15, 20 rounds if we have to. You know, but I'll talk to Ricky and the team and Bob and see what they think and see where we go from there.
Promoter Ricky Hatton, is that a fight you would like to make?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I think he's improving with every fight now under Bob Shannon. And, you know, the most he's ever gone is 6 rounds, but I'm not too bothered about that, bearing in mind that the gym is in. I mean, I think when I fought John Faxton for the British title, the most I'd ever done was 6 rounds, and I flew it. And this fellow with Bob Shannon behind him, you want to see them in the gym, you know, the way they go through the paces. But I think he's improving with every fight. You know, every fight looks better, and I think that's the fight that we should make now, definitely.
Well done tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Right, well, let's find out what Johnny Nelson, who was the World Cruiserweight Champion, defended it successfully 13 times, knows all about this division. What did you make of that, Johnny?
I think he's learning really well. Askin's, that was his 12th professional fight. Yeah, there's a few things need ironing out. He needs to show a lot more confidence in that jab, because when he does start to let it go, it works effectively for him. And it was about timing, kept the pressure on, and it was about youth as well. And so slowly but surely that confidence has come through and showed how he stopped him.
Well, just take us through the fight there and you know, the moments that mattered. Didn't last very long, but...
Well, first of all, what he kept doing was keeping him under pressure with the jab, keeping him busy with the jab, dropping it from the head to the body, lining him up with that long shot. That uppercut, he walked in, so he doubled the impact with uppercut when he walked in. That was the shot that did it. That was the shot that took Kracik out of the fight.
There's the shot that done it there, Johnny. That left hook to the short rib, that just took all the life out of him. That right uppercut finished it, and the right hand round the side of the head was the one that sickened him completely. He didn't want to know after that. Very talented kid, just like Johnny said. Fast, wicked puncher, accurate puncher too, Gary. But, you know, we can't assess him on that performance. We need to see somebody throwing punches back at him. But has he got potential? Absolutely.
Well, I tell you what, it's worth looking at the rankings here. These are the British rankings, and it's not a great division. It's there to be taken, isn't it, Barry?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's wide open at the moment. Leon Williams is the champion. Matty reckons he can take him apart. There's every chance that he can. John Lewis Dickinson is probably another great contender. Rob Norton is there and still would be an opponent for Matty as well if he wants to try and get some rounds under his belt, because he's negative Norton, difficult to hit, penetrate his defence. So I think it's good work for him and very good performance tonight, but we need to see him up against stiffer opposition.
Performance in a hard fight, he'll gain from that. Good night.
Marcel really is pouring on the pressure.